Hi. They say charity begins at home. I'd like to add clarity begins at home too. By home, I refer to you, me, us. Within us is the seed of understanding and discernment. So, how do we ensure clarity to discern and decide? By communicating effectively to yourself and the others. Hi, I'm Kiran Lingaraj, and my intent for making these videos is to bring to you the understanding of the true nature of effective communication that is backed by science, spirit, research, and coupled with my own experience. By no means do I consider myself an authority, knowing fully well that no one can, especially on effective way of communicating. On the other hand, if you are that person who is on the other end of the spectrum believing your communication is bad, stop the belief right now. Perhaps it's just that you haven't realized that you have not stopped comparing yourself to others, which is self-sabotage. So you should know we are all work in progress, and so is science, individual experiences, and workings of our spirit. So I hope through these videos, I help you understand the essence of why communicating effectively not only helps build happy and meaningful relationships, but also how your spoken word can change the inner chemistry within you to make your present and your envisaged future a reality. Now, many people have asked me as to how can they get very good at communicating. Before I get to how, I'd like to emphasize the difference between knowing a language and using it to communicate. Now, knowing a language alone does not guarantee you're making sense to the person listening to you or the impetus to think you're close to sounding logical. Now, there are several nuances that we have to consider before being prepared to sound reasonable, intelligent, and/or emotionally perceptive. You'd be surprised how easy it is to communicate effectively once you've understood certain aspects of you that needs to change before delving into paraphernalia like grammar, syntax, vocabulary, or the language itself. So let's dive right in. The first thing we need to understand is that sound creates vibration, which in turn has frequency, which then translates as energy. A spoken word is incredibly potent if you knew how to harness its power, and on the flip side can also be very detrimental if not monitored. Certain words can hit people with laser-like precision that can support or destroy the person's perception of reality. To elucidate this point, please watch Masaru Emoto's water experiment video to get a glimpse of how words themselves actually emit a unique vibration that the water is sensing. Water exposed to words like thank you formed beautiful geometric crystals, no matter what the language. But water exposed to you fool and other degrading words resulted in obviously broken and deformed crystals. The link to the video is provided in the description below. Now, we are beings of energy. We resonate to certain frequencies that match ours, while we may disassociate from other frequencies that are unlike ours or difficult to comprehend, but mostly we communicate by sharing emotions or feelings, which are frequencies in themselves. The above experiment is the testament to prove your spoken words are intent in the form of vibration and frequencies. I'm not considering technical lingo which purely focuses on the machine architecture and its business outcome. Even though, when you think of how the end product directly corresponds to making the lives of individuals, that's us humans, a little more comfortable or easy. Now, this again translates to the emotional or the feeling-based component of being a human. There's a lot more I will bring to you in our future episodes, but now get back to the question of how can I get good at communicating effectively? In the book, Neuropsychology of Self-Discipline, you come across a cybervision systems research in association with famed Stanford University Neuropsychological Research Laboratory for their 7 years of intensive investigation into the science of human achievement. Now, their research has uncovered what it believes is the master key to your success, the master key that unlocks the raw potential that lies dormant in the hearts and minds of people. Simply stated, they call this key self-discipline. Now, we may ask, was a research necessary to understand a concept as simple as this? Was it necessary for people to come together, invest their time, money, and resources just to find out that self-discipline was the key to master destiny? Well, the irony with us humans is we know what is necessary, but we do not have the will to pursue it. And this is the very reason why I've chosen to talk about self-discipline to catapulting your way to communicating successfully. Now, self-discipline is the most powerful tool you own for bridging the gap between visual thinking and real fulfillment. Without it, you can only stare, like author Amy Gross says, like a window shopper at the good things of life, shrug, and move on. So the first and foremost criterion for you to communicate your way to success is self-discipline. In other words, you need self-organization. I'd like to quote Beverly Jones here. She says, happiness and success are similar in that you can't pursue either directly. Each seems to emerge as a consequence of the way you manage yourself and your activities. That is so true. You'd be surprised if you had to take cognizance of the amount of time you wasted on a regular basis. Observe and you will be stumped. So, like Jordan Peterson says, move from pleasurable to productivity. But how? Any time of the day, ask yourself this question. Am I being productive or am I waiting for luck? Discipline demands sacrifice that leads to success, which is delayed gratification. Be more concerned with doing something immediately rather than postponing it. Simply swap out that foolish, unprofitable things you do every day with something that can secure your future. In short, self-discipline is self-organization. Without discipline, we are letting our lives be controlled by emotions, and therefore keep challenging yourself. Now, check your readiness. Learning a new skill takes commitment, and there are certain limits to what you can learn. So before starting working on a new skill, ask yourself if your goal really is attainable. If yes, then how much time and energy are you willing to give to this process? So what can you do to get where you want? Besides being self-organized, here are 3 things you can do. Number 1, get the right support. Find someone who is an expert at the skill you want to learn and ask them for advice. If you can't find a mentor at your workplace, try asking someone from that industry. Have a role model, if you will, you can look up and emulate. And number 2, start small and reflect. Set yourself achievable goals and focus on them one by one. Now, if you choose to learn more than 2 at once, this will lead to overwhelm and a lack of progress. Spend some time thinking about what you're learning as well, so you can acquire useful feedback and maintain accountability by reflecting on and discussing your progress with your mentor. In short, choose stability over spontaneity. Number 3, teach it to others. One of the speediest ways to memorize something new and to hone it is to educate others how to do it. So share what you learn with your group, your boss or your coworkers. Remember, analysis is paralysis. So find your purpose and work toward it relentlessly. Like Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher on how to build self-discipline puts it, practice voluntary hardships, constantly testing ourselves and by routinely making our lives uncomfortable in some way. We're hardening ourselves for the day we need to live it for real. Another very important meditation of his was to practice dichotomy of control. He says, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Now, here are a few other productive steps that can help you build momentum to communicate effectively. 1, try to recall and journal your experience through the day. Writing is an incredible way of getting your thoughts to words. Now, take the time to talk to people, whether they're familiar or strangers. Don't think of it as part of your to-do list, but show genuine interest, get to know them better. Copy people's communication style. Like Jim Rohn says, not copying any one person, but saying, I like the way the person said it this way. I like the way the person used expressions, gestures, etc. Read novels that help you build simple but effective vocabulary. According to one study, as Jim Rohn puts it, there is definitely a connection between vocabulary and behavior. The more limited the vocabulary, the tendency to poor behavior, irrespective of the language spoken. So, better your vocabulary, it is easier to share ideas that are meaningful and connect at the emotional level. Make it your routine to accomplish at least one chapter a day. And during this time, ensure you're not disturbed. Stay focused and poised. You're on a mission, remember? In the book, The Power of Discipline, Daniel Walter says, self-discipline is a lifestyle, not something you use when you want to achieve a goal or get better at work. It is like a muscle. You have to use it consistently to get better. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'd like to hear your thoughts as well. So leave your comments and watch out for more videos coming your way. Until then, live, love,